Alright, we're here for the final video in this series. We're going to go ahead and start the reassembly of this Moto G. Go ahead and put our little rubber grommets in that we took out. This one here is for the proximity sensor. Let's put that back in. Try to make sure it's nice and flushed against the glass and into its little socket hole there. We can go ahead and put our ribbon cable back in as well. It'll just go ahead and almost pop right into the hole there for the proximity sensor. Give it a little push, make sure it gets stuck in there pretty nice. Alright, go ahead and put our speakers back in. One on the top and then one on the bottom here as well. Give them a little wiggle on the back of them, make sure that they're stuck in there nice. Go ahead and put in our front-facing camera. The ribbon cable facing towards the top. Go ahead and put our logic board in. Should sit nice and flush. We'll go back and forth a little bit, make sure it's nice and secure. Go ahead and start to reconnect our ribbon cables. Our first cable for the screen. It'll be a little bit tricky to get it to fold over if you're using a new screen. Make sure it lines up, and then you snap down the connector. Push that cable in as far as it'll go. Go ahead and put the proximity sensor front-facing camera cable connectors back on. Next step, we're going to go ahead and put our screws back in. One just down here at the bottom left-hand corner. One up here at the right above the top left of the battery. And one to the right here, just next to the shielding to the right of the camera. Next step is to go ahead and take our copper shielding that's still on top of our battery here. We're going to go ahead and insert the battery connector. It just snaps right back on top. It'll look like it fits down right on top, but actually the connector goes a little bit forward into the slot. Take our copper adhesive and just put it back out. It's okay if it's a little wrinkled, not that big of a deal. If you did rip it, just make sure it overlaps on top of itself when you're putting it back on the device. Next, we can go ahead and take our SIM card slot here. Go ahead and snap in the ribbon cable connector. Put the vibration module back in its place. It should kind of just adhere itself back down. There should still be a little residual adhesive on top of the copper shielding there. Just going to try to make sure we flatten it back out as much as possible. Let's go ahead and put the power button back in. Just going to try to power the device on here real quick. Make sure that the screen works for us. There we go. Now what I suggest doing at this point is testing as many features as you can, the touch, all of those things that you'd want to make sure function properly before you go too much further into the repair. Alright, so touch is responding for us, which is great. Go ahead and finish repairing the device. It's going to power it off here real fast. It'd be helpful if I had a power button. You can just use our nylon spudger. We'll just get our power button and our volume button here. Go ahead and insert them back in. You'll see they kind of cut out and fit in the correct way to the back of the device here. I have a kind of a half moon shape, so just make sure the rounded edge is facing downwards. Now we can take our rear cover, just line everything up, make sure all the screw holes are lined up correctly, and now starts the tedious task of putting all these screws back in. Now when you're inserting these screws, you want them to be nice and snug. You don't want them to be over tight. You don't want to push in through the plastic or damage any of the midframe at all. So you want them to be snug. Just don't over tighten to strip them out. Now that you have all of your screws put in, we're just going to put our back on. We're just going to take it and snap it on to kind of work our way around. Let's double check the power on of the device here real quick. Everything's looking great, and there you have it. That is the screen replacement on the Moto G 2nd Gen. If you have any questions, go ahead and throw them in the comments. I'll do my best to answer those for you. If you found the video helpful, go ahead and hit the like button. If you want to see future videos, go ahead and subscribe to me. I try to throw up a couple a month. I do appreciate you watching the video, and I hope to see you on the next one.